What's up, you guys? So today in this video, I'm going to be taking you guys along with me to go get lip filler, as well as ask my injector Stephanie some questions that I think everyone should know before and after they get lip filler. I wish when I was 18 and I got lip filler for the first time that I had this video to watch, because I was so naive and there are so many things you need to know before getting lip filler, about lip filler, who to go to. By the way, you guys are beautiful with or without lip filler. This video is for the people who just want to feel a little bit more confident and enhance their features a little bit more. Hey you guys, right now I'm about to go in and talk to Stephanie about what we're doing next with my lips. So I'm going to take you guys with me. I'm so happy that I'm doing this with Stephanie and that I trusted her in getting my lips dissolved, because beforehand, when I got it done somewhere else, they were just crazy. And by the way, I can't talk right now because of this in my lips, so it's hard to talk. Just know that. So anyways, don't be afraid to get filler, because I promise, it really doesn't hurt that bad, and especially that they put on the numbing medication. So we'll catch you guys.
I like Restylane Kiss a lot. It's a beautiful filler for the lips. It gives a little more volume for my patients who want less. We'll use more of like a Restylane Refine or a Versa or something a little smoother. But because I wanted to give you a little volume and I wanted it something with like a little bit of structure in it, we went with the Restylane Kiss. So I like to map just to make sure that I'm really staying in a feminine way. If you continue to kind of come all the way out, you can end up inverting the lip edges and make it look kind of ducky. So we like to keep most of our volume a little bit more central. It'd be nice to get a little central elevation, central opening, as opposed to really focusing on that lateral area.
You in the backyard of your old farm in the summer. Stayed there for 3 weeks where we learned to love each other. Wrote you letters, sent a message to the goddamn. Skip to the present, haven't been so happy ever.
And even I am doing a tinting technique on you. I don't do this on everybody. I am doing it because I want to get more of that, like more visibility of the lip. But I have to be very cautious because I don't want to create more of a border. So before I even pull out, I'm stopping my pushing before I'm even pulling out, so that we make sure not to give you an accentuated border, since yours is already naturally more accentuated.
Definitely.
So on you, I'm being really cautious to not over treat in the area where you have those lip tubercles. And this med spa is with like plastic surgeons, and I feel like that makes a huge difference. Our knowledge of anatomy is just completely different than a lot of people who have never seen the inside of a lip or underlying skin. Wait a few days. We don't want to put makeup on right away.
Yeah. What about lip balm?
Lip balm is fine, but I want you to do something like really clean.
Okay, like unscented.
Unscented, and like squeeze out the, like take out whatever the top layer is, or the top layers
I never
of
heard of that.
bacteria, and then you can put it on.
Oh.
Yeah. Something fresh would be even better, just because you think about bacteria that sits on your makeup.
Yeah.
There's like a ton of bacteria on your makeup.
Definitely. I didn't know that.
You have all of these, open areas that we traumatize the skin with a needle. You can get bacteria into it. You can get bacteria actually into that filler, and then months down the road, you can have issues with your filler because you now have like a little underlying bacterial infection.
Oh my god, I never knew
Very
that.
important to avoid.
I never knew that. That is so good to know.
Ideally a few days, and if you have to, listen, a lot of people are like, I have to wear makeup tonight. Just make sure it's clean. And I usually would stick with like more of like a Vaseline or like Aquaphor or something like that.
Cool.
Hi, Stephanie Rosen, Skin Beauty Steph. I am an aesthetic PA at a plastic surgery practice and the director of Aria Med Spa here in Montclair, New Jersey.
So I came in, I would say about maybe 6 months ago, kind of confused with what was going on with my face. I couldn't smile and I didn't know if it was extra filler in my cheeks that I had previously. And then I came to you and she said, actually you have filler migration above my lips, which I didn't even know really happened or anything. So Stephanie went through the process with me. We did 2 rounds of dissolver as well as 1 round of filler.
When she first came in, she was actually talking about feeling like she couldn't smile properly. And I was like, actually, it's the fact that the filler is not only in your lip, but it's all around the lip. And so when she was talking and animating, you could see that it just didn't look natural. And it was actually preventing her from like smiling completely. So why do we get filler migration? Because we either have too much product placed in the lip tissue. It sometimes can be the technique that the person uses, especially when you're using a lot of a tenting technique. If you have a product that's too thick, it isn't going to stay. As you're moving, it's going to just move to the area of least resistance, which is oftentimes above the lip where you're going to see a little filler mustache. A lot of the time people, I think this had happened to you as well, people end up coming back in saying like, oh, I need more, my lips are deflated. And it's not that you need more, it's just that all of the filler that was in your lips was above your lips. And so we worked through that. We were able to actually kind of take everything out using the dissolver and then gradually place a nice filler in there that has settled really beautifully into the lip tissue.
It really has. I love it.
What is the dissolver? So it's a liquid that we actually inject into the area where we have migration, and it's going to actually cause the filler in that area to dissolve, turn into water, and go away completely. So sometimes you can start seeing results as early as like a few minutes, but a lot of the time by the next day, you're gonna see a complete transformation and usually a much more natural looking lip shape.
Yeah, and I would definitely say don't be afraid when you do get the dissolver if you bruise or anything. I was super nervous and contacted Stephanie freaking out like, oh my god, my face. And that's just completely normal, I was told, so don't freak out. It's going to get worse before it gets better.
And you also had some swelling.
Oh yeah.
And you also drank out of a water bottle.
Yeah, don't do that too. Pro tip, don't do that.
When you have a lot of swelling, it can feel weird and it almost looks like, oh my gosh, I went in to get my lips taken out and now they're like so much bigger. But by the next day, like completely.
Oh, it was fine.
Some people can actually have a little bit of an allergic reaction to it. Usually we'll ask if anybody has a history of like anaphylaxis, like the bee stings or something like that. But I actually am one of the people who did have a little bit of an allergy, and so I got super swollen when I used it, and you just take Benadryl and you're completely fine. And it's, you know, the only real way of getting rid of the filler if you're unhappy with it. So one of the issues with your lips was that they had actually used a product that was way too thick to fit in the lips. They used Juvederm Voluma, which is a product that is really meant for like cheeks, chin, jawline, and they did it because you wanted to get more longevity because you kept feeling like your lips were losing all of their volume. But when you came in, I could tell there was like a color change. It was stiff. It wasn't moving like a natural lip was. So I want to actually show you. That's like crazy thick.
Oh wow, that is.
As opposed to a thin lip product, like I love this, and you can see how that is sticky. So it's actually going to stay where you place it, even with movement. It's specifically made for areas of movement, and it's much thinner.
Wow, that's so interesting. That makes so much sense though, because this is literally how my lips felt. They were hard, like very hard. Wow, that is so
And it's gritty.
Cool.
It's like got a grit to it. It's just, it's not made for an area that moves all the time.
Wow.
With the thicker products, they're really made to go deep. So you'll place those in the cheek. That's what's gonna like lift the cheek or like create a jawline or create a chin. With the thinner products, you wanna place those thinner, stickier products in an area like the lip, because when the lip is moving, it's not gonna push out and up or end up below, creating those little bubbles. The thicker products are really made to be used deep, whereas the thinner products are made to be used more superficially and in areas that are moving constantly. Also keep in mind the stickiness of the product is really important because it actually stays together when you're smiling, when you're drinking, when you're kissing, whereas if it was just too thin, it just kind of like dissipates into nothing.
Okay, that's cool to know. This is so interesting. This is
It's
so crazy.
thick.
This is literally how my lips smell.
And once it pulls in water, it gets even thicker. So these products are hyaluronic acid. You see, like we use hyaluronic acid on our faces. It's a product that actually holds onto water, and that's how you get the volume. So if you have something that pulls in a lot of water and is thick, it just makes it hard. Like it makes your lips not feel like your own.
Yeah, it definitely did not feel like my own lips. It felt like I had filler in it, like even to the touch. Like even putting on like lip gloss or anything, like it just felt that way. But now they look great. I love them. But this is so interesting. I love this little like demonstrations. So after my first round of Dissolver, I went back to Stephanie to evaluate my lips, and she said that I had to do a second round, which I don't think many people are aware of, that it might not just be one and done if you have like enough filler in your lips or migrated.
I know that a lot of people get really disappointed, and we hate disappointing people, but they do have to have a period of time where they don't have filler in their lips. We need to give the product time to actually work and dissolve. Sometimes it'll take more than one session. Oftentimes it does, especially because you had Voluma in your lips. It's like such a thick filler that it requires so much dissolving agent. I remember I used more than I usually do in one session on your first session, and then you came back and you were like, it's all gone, and I was like,
yeah, I thought it was, but it was not.
It is not. We have to do another round, and I know that was really hard for you because you're like so used to having your lips looking a certain way, and then they just it didn't feel like your new normal yet. But it really is worth going through the process, completely removing all of the stuff that you don't want, and then we can add it back in. So I would say it usually requires, if you've had a lot, like 2 to 3 sessions spaced approximately 2 weeks apart, because they do say the Dissolver continues to work for about 2 weeks. And then I like to wait usually ideally a month before refilling minimum, because now you've created these, with all of this volume, you've actually created new pockets in the lip and actually a new little area above the lip where that product was sitting. So you need to actually give your body time to hopefully heal that little cavern that has been created, so that when we do place it, it's not going to go right back to where it was. One of the big things that they talk about is like the Russian lip technique, and everybody wants the Russian lip technique because it like creates these really full, really beautiful looking lips right away. The way that it works is actually going to create oftentimes a little border above the lip. So that's what gives you like a ducky appearance, and then with time, the product is going to be moving up into the above lip area. So it's really, it's a great technique when done correctly, but I would say a majority of people I see, especially on TikTok, on Instagram, are not doing it correctly, and they're creating something that looks great in this immediate after picture, but I'm telling you, when you look at those same people like 2 weeks later, it is going to look like horrific, and it's just going to be like no product is actually in their lip, it's all above. If I had to guess, I think you probably have had that done, especially because of like the shape of your lip and the way that it projects forward. They probably were trying to get it to project more vertically, and so by doing that, it just like put you into this this cycle.
Yeah, definitely. That was a really great way to explain it. I noticed with my own lips, even when I would turn to this side, it was like I had a pocket right above here, and it made so much sense once I came to Stephanie and she explained everything with the migration after and guessing that technique. It's just so crazy, how even my side profile was impaired because of the filler migrating up there. So right now I only have 1 syringe in my lips, and if you told me about 2 years ago that I would be okay with having 1 syringe in my lips, I wouldn't believe you, because I had liporexia, and every time I went back to the injector, I thought, oh my gosh, they're too small, but I just wasn't aware that they kept migrating and the filler was not being done correctly at all.
So, it's really easy to just give a patient what they come in asking for. It's much harder to say no, and even harder to say no, and I need to remove it, and we need to start over. But a good injector, it's like their responsibility to say that to you. So you were kind of like at a disadvantage that the people who were doing this were not being honest with you. We didn't even actually talk about the fact that you did your first lip filler.
She did. She did do my first lip filler.
And then I said, it's enough. And what did you say?
So she told me when I went, I was like, can I have, you know, some more? She said, absolutely not. I'm not going to send you out there like that. And I thought, you know, this is not the look I'm going for. I'm not going, you know, out here to look natural or anything. And I wish I could go shake myself and tell my old 18-year-old self to just wait, keep it like they are. It looks beautiful the way it is. And I think in like right now in the media and everything, we have this misconception that big lips are beautiful, which yes, that's true. But when you're getting lips that are overdone, trying to look like a permanent filter, it's not sustainable. It doesn't work like that because we move our faces in a day, and just like when we showed you with the filler, my lips could not move. So yes, they looked like filter like on the outside, but I looked crazy in person. So,
and just in talking, like you need to be able to like talk normally when you're with people, and a lot I think this is a problem too with like a lot of celebrities, and it's just the culture now. It's like, I want to look like my filter. People come in all the time, they're like, can you make me look like this filter? And I'm like, I can make you look like that filter at rest, but it's not going to look normal like during the rest of your life. And like majority of the time you're in person with people, you need to, you know,
so true,
look comfortable. You can always use makeup, right? We can always enhance and then use a little makeup to like further enhance if you want a more dramatic look, but you don't have to have that dramatic look every day.
Absolutely. All right, everyone, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and listening to Steph answer some questions. If you guys have any further questions or are interested in getting your lips done by Stephanie, go follow Skin Beauty Steph. I will link below all of her information, her Instagram, YouTube, everything else.
It's very exciting to be able to talk about this topic because I'm really passionate about it, and I feel like the more we can educate people, the better outcomes people are going to have. So thank you so much for coming in and allowing us to share this story.
I will be bringing her along with the journey. I'm sure I will be back getting Botox soon in my forehead because my forehead's starting to move, and I'm sure lip filler in like 6 months from now.
Skip to the present, haven't been so